Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I apologize for the lack of videos. I unfortunately got sick over Thanksgiving, so I have been resting, trying to get myself to feel better because this month, the whole month of December, I'm really trying to do daily uploads. Something I've always wanted to do, so I'm gonna try to make that happen this year. This video is gonna be more of an STI update. I have lots of you guys messaging me on my posts privately and whatnot, wondering what the update is of the STI. So as it sits right now, it is still completely torn apart. Motor is still disassembled as well. I dropped my heads off about a month ago now, and I was told it would take a few days. I'd have it for sure by the end of the week. Fortunately, things happen. I still do not have my heads with no ETA. I was supposed to have them last week before Thanksgiving, that whole extended weekend. Didn't get them then. It is currently Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Haven't heard any update, so the big thing I'm waiting on is my heads to be done. Now, unfortunately, I already dropped off the heads, but knowing it was just 4 valves, I could have easily done that myself here at the shop. I just wanted the head shop to run through everything, make sure the heads were completely 100% sound because we are going for such a high power goal. I want to make sure everything is 100% perfect. With that being said though, it was just the 4 exhaust valves, which I could have easily done myself, but the heads are already there, so not much I can do about that now. I have pretty much everything in for this car to get it running. The only thing I'm waiting on is for my head gaskets to show up. Those should be here, I think today actually. So I'll have my head gaskets before I even have my heads back. And then the day we pick up the heads is when we can get this car put back together. My big goal, which would be insane if I was able to accomplish this, would be to make 1,000 Mustang with this car. If I made 1,000 Mustang in this STI, that would be absolutely insane. That comes out to like 1,300 wheel horsepower if you do dyno jet numbers. But 1,000 Mustang would be insane if I was able to make that happen. We call Josh's dyno the heartbreaker because it doesn't like to show numbers well. We always prove it at the track, but if I was able to break that record, that'd be absolutely insane. I know Josh is ready for it. We'll see what the car can do. Last you guys heard, I was also building my new fuel system for this car. So I think the initial plan is, because I could have built the fuel system, most of it right now, but I think I'm going to wait until I finish braking on the motor. I'm gonna do about 100 miles of braking, just so I can get the motor somewhat broken in before we send her to the moon. So I think I'm going to wait to build my fuel system until after braking. Reason for is I already have the tune for what's on the car right now. It'd be more headache to get a new tune just for braking when I could just drive it for 100 miles, just how it is, and then build the fuel system after that. But if you guys are new here, the thing that took out my valves was these 2 bolts that hold your tensioner bracket, all of that good stuff, snapped in the block. I already got one of them out, haven't tried to get this other one, but that failed, lost tension, and got out of time and bent my valves. I was using the stock tensioner and all of that stuff. I have all stock pulleys, tensioner, everything. But this time around, I think I'm going to change things up a little bit. I've already spent so much money on this car, no expense spared. I may as well spend a little bit of extra money and do all the pulleys and tensioners as well. IAG makes this pretty badass tensioner. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like 500 bucks. It's ridiculous, but it replaces, normally on Subarus, I believe it's 2 brackets that go together with the idler pulley and the tensioner that mount to these 2 bolts here. IAG makes one that is just 1 piece that bolts on, and it's meant for drag racing. It's pretty expensive, like I said. It's like $500, I think. But from the looks of it, they pretty much state it is very difficult for it to get out of time because the tension on it is just ridiculous. I think I'm going to spend the money on there just so I have that extra tension, just so I don't have to worry about something like that happening again. I did also order, and they came in, the IAG adjustable pulleys. The reason I ordered those too is you can also manually adjust tension with those as well. And especially with a block that you've had, or sorry, if especially with heads that you have had decked multiple times, let's say, it's gonna throw off the overall length of it. I mean, microscopic, but it still throws it off. Probably did not explain that well at all, but if you ever deck your heads, if your heads are decked once, you're probably fine. But it's when you start decking your heads like 2, 3, 4 times is when you probably want to go ahead and spend, it's like $250 to get the adjustable pulleys. With that being said, there are some things I was going to avoid ordering for the STI until they broke, and that is going to be my full like drivetrain. So on this car, everything from the transmission back is 100% stock from factory. Now these STI transmissions have proven to hold 1,000 horsepower. Obviously, it is not the safest thing. They will inevitably break, but I'm not too worried about that right now, especially being a dog box, which is what I'd want is like 17 grand. But what I am concerned about is going to be the drive shaft and axles. They are completely stock on this car right now, and with that much torque I'm going to be throwing at this car, it is inevitably going to break. Well, I ended up making my way back inside. It's so cold outside, my battery life drained on my camera. So my camera died, and it's freezing cold in the shop. I don't have heat or insulation in my shop, so it is pretty brutal out there. I have to figure out some sort of heating situation, especially because I'm going to be working on cars all throughout winter and putting the STI together soon. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, working in the numbing cold is no fun at all. Like I mentioned, the drivetrain, everything is 100% bone stock from factory. So for everything from transmission back is stock, which is not going to do us good. I was going to wait until stuff broke to replace it. No, that's probably not the best thing to do. It's probably more content and whatnot, but it's not worth it at the end of the day, and it can end up damaging more stuff. So I am going to be ordering my carbon drive shaft for the STI along with built axles. Axles and the drive shaft are going to be the two main things that are going to give out, especially with a lot of torque and launching the car. If it was a street car and I was just driving it on the street, maybe a different story. It would last a little bit longer. I wouldn't be launching it and driving as hard all the time, but since it is going to be a track car, I want to make sure it's not going to give out at me at a track. I don't think I mentioned this. I was talking about possibly getting an ACT clutch. I've heard they're amazing, but I haven't used an ACT at this power level. I've never had a car at the goal of the STI, so I chickened out and I went ahead and spent the extra money and I got the Exetti triple disc. I know that'll hold. I don't know about ACT. I've yet to use one. And I know Josh and all of our cars, we always go with the Exetti triple disc. It's always proven and it's always worked for us. So I got the triple disc. It should be flawless. Hopefully we'll run into no issues. But yeah, today was more of just an informative video, letting you guys know what the plan is with the STI pretty much. I have been sick, so I'm still kind of recovering. So today was not working on any cars or anything. It's more of a relaxed day of recording, just giving you guys a heads up and letting you guys know what is happening with the STI. I'm not neglecting it, haven't forgotten about it. It's just I'm simply waiting on parts to be finished, mainly my heads like I mentioned. So once those, literally the day those heads are done is when I'm going to be putting the car back together. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it is completely different than the other videos on my channel, but if you guys do enjoy these videos, I can make more, I guess, relaxed style videos for you guys as well. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the first video of my daily uploads throughout December. Make sure you guys stay tuned as well. I'm really trying to have this STI done this month on the dyno and made the power that I'm hoping. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all the things that we have going on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.